game that might change after that experience that you might want to bring for the end from this point on?
It's a good question. Just like you said, play with the pace, play fast, but at the same time know when to slow the game down and just pick my place.
You always said you wanted to become the best version of yourself, and it seems like every step you've been taking this year has been bringing you towards that goal. How do you feel your game has grown if you compare to the start of this season?
Yeah, I feel like it's been growing pretty much every game, since I got here, and I like where it's going. There is for sure more stuff I can be still better at, but it's been a good season so far, and now we got the final stretch and then the playoffs. So I wanna finish hard, wanna finish good.
It was your second experience in the Olympics. Of course, there were no medals this time, but what will you keep from this experience?
Yeah, I enjoyed it, played a lot. We had a pretty young team, and we fought hard. We got some good wins, and yeah, for sure I got a lot of good memories. Maybe not as good at the end, but still pretty good for our country.
Yeah,
You're right.
Yeah, because the NHL players were there compared to the other time, so I guess it shows that the Slovakian team can do something great in the near future.
Yeah, hopefully. We got a lot of young guys that are hungry to play for the national team and have some good results. So yeah, for sure it was a good tournament for us, but I feel like now we kind of have to prove it every time we go play either World Championships or the Olympics.
There was a lot of expectation on yourself from your country, from the people in Slovakia. Would you see that now you respond that expectation that the people had?
Well, I hope so. I think they have to answer this question. I was just trying to do my best out there every time I was playing. So try to help my team. I think at the end it was decent. Obviously could have been better with the medal, but yeah, I liked it.
It was a great individual tournament for you, though. I know it's a team game, but individually you couldn't have done much more.
Well, yeah. Well, I had a good start. Maybe I could have done a little more at the end there in the semifinals or the bronze medal game, but can't really change what happened right now.
To not come home with a medal, does that take anything away? Does it diminish it at all?
Yeah, I said it sucks. You're super close at the end. Like, you got one period to go. You're down one goal, and then it kind of slipped away. Mm-hmm. That sucks, but yeah, it's for sure a motivation, and yeah, I want to be good here now for the rest of the season.
Do you feel as though that experience is going to change you as a leader on the team?
I think it can help me for sure. It can help me to lead more. I was for sure talking a lot on a bench during the intermissions, but yeah, we'll see how it goes tomorrow.
After playoff experience with this team and two Olympics experience,
Thanks.
Nick, what's the biggest lesson or takeaway you take away from your Olympic experience?
Probably that's really hard to win, and you feel like you do everything you can to put yourself in a position to win, and still it doesn't result. So it was a tough feeling. Everyone gave it their all, and it was an honor to be a part of that.
When it comes to being on the ice for practices, for games, what are some of the details you can take away from some of the players you've been with for this whole experience?
Yeah, just the high level of preparation. The work that guys do before practices, during practice, after practice, during the whole day. It's just it's a treat to be around all those guys and talk about a lot of different things. So there's a lot of learning stuff there too.
Did somebody make an impression in particular to you?
In what way?
Well, and just in the way that they behave, in the way that obviously on the ice we see what those guys can do, but just on a more like personal basis, getting to know the guys.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, everyone, because I haven't really got to spend a lot of time with all of them, but like guys like Marchand and Stone, they're amazing people, great in the room, just helping, a lot of me and some other guys out just with some system stuff and talking it over with them. So, I mean, those two guys were awesome.
Nick, you sat back on the ice today to the healthiest this group has been. 4 good players on the outside looking in, trying to crack the lineup. Like, what does it tell you about where this team has come to, and what's your excitement level for what's to come?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I've ever seen so many, NHL caliber guys, and there's guys fighting for spots every single time, practice or games. So the internal competition's high, and I think that'll just keep pushing everyone, to be at their best at every time. And it's unfortunate with we can only play a certain number of people, and I think guys are pretty bought into a bigger goal, and just want to help the team as much as we can.
As you continue to grow into your role as captain, what did you maybe learn from Sidney Crosby, and sort of how cool was it just to be on the same team?
To start with, provide detail of what you've been through. We know it's a broken ankle, but like, how severe was this injury, and what have you come back from?
Yeah, I guess from the initial incident, you always have hope when you go down. Don't know how severe it's going to be. Went through something similar a couple years ago, so I didn't think it was going to be as bad as it was initially when you first get off the ice with the adrenaline and everything. But had to go in for surgery the next day, and you guys know what the timeline was like. How long I've been away, but it's been a long few months away from the team. Just rehab. A lot of credit to the staff here. Our trainers have been awesome. Our strength guys have been great with me, and it's a long road to get back. Every athlete knows it when they go through injuries like this, but I'm excited to get back and excited to help this team down the stretch here.
What did you take from the way you started this season that could potentially make what's a very difficult comeback easier for you?
Yeah, I think I gained a lot of confidence from the start of the year. I have expectations for myself and had expectations coming into the year as to where I thought I could be as a player, and what kind of player I could be to this team. And I think early on in the season I proved that, which was important to me, and it was important in terms of what I could do for the team. So. I think in doing that, the expectation for myself and from others around is higher for myself coming back, which is a good thing. It's what I want to have. I want to have that expectation, and that the expectation as to where I can be coming back, and I'm not trying to ease back into it. I've done the work to get back and trying to get right back to where I left off.
Did all the work help you get out of the way maybe the pain or the hesitation to to have some pain during the games, or do you need a game to get that out of the way?
Yeah, hopefully not. Hopefully not. You know, it's hard to mimic game pace and physicality and all the battles and everything that come with it. But you know, I was lucky with the timeline and the schedule that I could get 6 or 7 practices with the team here, which is pretty rare considering the schedule we go through during this year, especially. So in that sense, it was great to be able to battle with the guys and be able to kind of do as much as I could to mimic that game pace in practice. So I'm feeling good heading into tomorrow.
Big point on the power play right away. What does it mean for you for your comeback?
Yeah, it's exciting for sure. You know, left off there, so it's nice to be thrown back into it here going into tomorrow, and it's a big part of the game, especially with the race we're in here towards the end of the year. So that could be the difference in the game. So. Yeah, excited to be a part of that tomorrow and see what we can do.
Did you get any indication that you might be put also on the PK, or this for now is not?
Yeah, I don't know, honestly. We didn't do too much PK today, especially with practice and power play, so we'll see.
There's never a good time for an injury, obviously, but when you think about how well you were playing before, and timing couldn't have been any worse.
yeah, the timing was pretty brutal. Thanks for that. But it is what it is. You can't control the timeline. You can't control when stuff like that happens. And you guys saw the play there. It's a pretty freak accident. It doesn't happen a lot, so it is what it is. You got to deal with things like that when they come at you. And I tried to deal with it head on and take accountability for it. And excited to get back at this time. I think it could have probably potentially been longer, but I'm feeling good headed tomorrow, and I think we did a good job with the rehab process.
When you've been off this long, what's the biggest challenge? It's almost like you had a summer off, and it's the beginning of training
exactly,
camp.
Yeah. I mean, there's lots of challenges that come with it. I think probably the biggest one is like you said, getting back up to game pace in that short amount of time. With summer and with training camp and everything, you have a long window to kind of build up to getting to where you want to be. But it's like you're off for a few months, and then you get a few weeks to kind of get back up to game shape. So try to do what I could, and excited for tomorrow.
Last year after the Four Nations, the team made a push to make the playoff.
Yeah.
This year, what's going to be the challenge in the last stretch of the season, knowing that probably the teams are going to try to catch you?
Yeah. I mean, they're going to try and catch us, but I think we're trying to catch teams above us, and we're trying to win the division. So, we're in our own battle ourselves here, and like you said, having that push last year after the break, I think we learned some things from that as to how we can kind of hit the ground running here after the break. And there's no real room to slide. There's no room to drop a few games in a row. So we're going to need to be sharp right off the bat.
What do you think about all the healthy bodies that are here now and the competition? This is probably the strongest this team has looked.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, when you're talking about that amount of depth, when you got that amount of healthy guys out of the lineup, it's a great thing. I think it's a good problem to have. You know what can happen coming down the stretch, and especially in playoffs, with injuries are bound to happen. So. It's good to have that amount of depth, and I think we're confident in everyone in this room. If they're in or out of the lineup, we know what they can provide, and good issue to have for sure.
The result or what do you like from this group now?
Yeah, it's been fun to watch. As brutal as it is to watch, it's been fun.